amigos, I am Rodolfo Ramos, Bradesco BBI's Mexico strategist, and welcome to That's What's What in Mexico, our bi-weekly video product to give you our latest views. So today, as you can see here, we are in beautiful Bryant Park here in New York City, so I hope that you enjoy this background while we go into our content here today. And as we usually do, we'll be covering three topics of discussion. First one is going to be the US sanctions on these Mexican financial institutions. Second, we're going to be giving you our thoughts on the latest remittances number. And third, we're going to be giving you some of the events and things that we are monitoring on the domestic side. So kicking off here with our first point of discussion, this historic move by the US Treasury to go ahead and sanction these three Mexican financial institutions, we interpret it really as a warning shot for other firms and even politicians that might be involved in any dealings whatsoever with organized crime. This continues to highlight, and it's an unequivocal sign that the U.S. will have a zero tolerance policy against any potential links with organized crime. Of course, Mexican authorities, Claudia Sheinbaum herself, have been very cooperative on this front, and they very swiftly announced that they were intervening in these three financial institutions, of course, to safeguard consumers, but also to prevent any impact that could be more systemic. So going forward is going to be a very sensitive collaboration, and of course, Sheinbaum's goal is to address this problem that affects both the U.S. and Mexico, but also to preserve political stability. So it will be nonetheless a challenging time, especially because the U.S. is going with or without Mexico's cooperation on this front. No, but we do believe that it's in the best interest of both countries to forge ahead with this very ambitious agenda on fighting organized crime. So this is the first point that we wanted to touch on. The second point is on the remittances side. We saw the number for May, and it was a 5% decline year over year in dollar terms. We believe that this decline is only natural after the explosive growth that we've seen over the last few years. If we look at the last 12 months, we're still talking about $64 billion in remittances. And there's been a lot of things that could be potentially affecting consumer behavior or these people that send remittances, whether it's deportation risk, whether it's potential taxes that could be levied on remittances, or higher reporting requirements in certain zip codes. So there's been a lot of moving pieces on that front. However, on Mexican peso terms, for that month, we're still seeing close to double-digit growth. So that impulse that it has had on consumer is likely going to continue. However, going forward is going to be much more challenging, especially as we have seen the peso reaching that 19% threshold and really appreciating in a much more meaningful way recently. So we've seen it in the past, how migrants, how workers decide to even put up more dollars when this happens, and it'll be very important for us to see how these numbers evolve in the next coming of weeks. This has a very important implications for basic consumption of goods in Mexico, but also for some more discretionary in nature, such as bag cement, as we have discussed with some of Mexico's largest cement producers. So this is what we wanted to discuss on this second point. And just to close here our video, some of the things that we are monitoring in this second half of the year. The first one I would say is the work week reduction initiative to bring the work labor from 48 to 40 hours in Mexico, in line with OECD. This is a matter of when, not a matter of if. We have seen everybody in agreement that this needs to happen. It's just a matter of implementation. And we will see the last of the forums of discussion scheduled for next week. And we do expect potentially a draft, or being able to see a draft at the end of this month already, and discussions in Congress maybe taking place in September when the next ordinary session takes place. So this is something that really has the potential to be disruptive for companies in Mexico, particularly in the services and manufacturing sectors that are constantly, working almost 24/7, the seven days of the week. So this is something that we are very closely monitoring. The second point here that is of utmost relevance for investors is the USMCA review process. We have seen or heard from key negotiators that they expect discussions to take place in September in connection with the USMCA review, but we have seen things take longer than we expected. For example, this US tariff on steel and aluminum that was recently raised to 50%. We have heard rumors for now a couple of weeks that an agreement was already in the works, and we have yet to see it. And the same goes with this 25% tariff, the fentanyl and migration tariff that continues to be applied on non-USMCA compliant goods. So, we believe that geopolitics might have a role to play here in putting these trade discussions in the back burner, but we do expect these to accelerate going forward. We believe it's, of course, in the best interest of Mexico, but also in the best interest of many US companies that are eager to learn about how the rules of the game will be to plan investments and structure their supply chain. We continue to see, on our latest trip, we saw that companies remain in a wait-and-see mode, and we really do believe that this USMCA review and this progress on this could be the catalyst to have companies back again investing in Mexico. To exploit this nearshoring theme that we have discussed here extensively. So this is what we had for you today. We have a surprise in store for you in a couple of weeks' time, so stay tuned. And until then, take care, amigos. Ciao, ciao.